What's up, Michigan fans? Welcome back to the Maize and Brew podcast, where we talk all things Michigan, football and basketball. MWB in the place to be, go blue. Thanks for being here as always. I appreciate you. Remember, brand new channel, less than a month old, and we are flying. This community is growing, and I am having a blast. If it's your first time here, consider subscribing. Helps the channel grow, helps you know when I have content come out. Give me a like, leave a comment. I love to talk to you guys in the comments. I respond to everyone, so I'll see you down there. We've got a full show today. We're going to continue our coaching staff series and take a deep dive into Offensive Coordinator Jason Beck. We've got some Michigan basketball stuff to talk about, a little back and forth between Spartans fans and Michigan fans, as well as the coaches. Some information came out on the spring game, which I cannot wait for. And of course, I've got a ton of recruiting news, as well as a look around Michigan athletics and the results to yesterday's question of the day. All that and more on this episode of the Maize and Brew podcast. Let's get into it. All right, so it was Groundhog Day, and Pescatawny Phil saw the shadow, which means 6 more weeks of winter. Brr, that's cold. You know what also is cold? The press conferences back and forth between Michigan coach Dusty May and Michigan State coach Tom Izzo, talking about the game in which Michigan won 83-71. Dusty May, well, it all started a little bit with the post game when Tom Izzo talked about how Michigan played really well, I guess. Can completely give them their flowers, which that kind of stuff is funny. Most of the stuff back and forth with fans is funny. You know, I knew that Michigan State, a loud vocal majority. There are a lot of great Michigan State fans. I'm friends with a lot of Michigan State fans who say, hey, your team looked good. You were the better team. You won that night. We'll get you next time. But there's always going to be some on both sides. We have our share of fans that do this too, that are going to make excuses, that are going to attack the other team, the coach, you know, all the stuff we always hear from Michigan State about how Dusty May just buys a team and uses the portal, and even though somehow that's not good and good coaching, and it's bad because their boy Tom Izzo says he doesn't like the portal and wants to just grow. And you know, there's some I respect that, and you know, I'm someone who loves recruiting and developing players. You know, this is the way it is now, and Dusty May's very good at getting players in that he needs. He's also good at recruiting. He's got some really good recruits. Trey McKinney, hello. So he is doing both, but has he had to do more of the portal to start off? Yeah, I mean, he came in and most of the roster either left or graduated, so he kind of had to, and then some of those guys left or graduated. So as he's gonna slowly do both, but I mean, he wants to rock it out every year. It just is what it is, and go for it, man. But they're back and forth. Dusty May mentioned, he didn't mention names or anything like that, but he said that there was some dangerous plays for Michigan State that he did not like. And then there was some really good, I'll put a link in the description, but there were some really good breakdowns from some Michigan content creators that really pieced together a lot of the plays from Michigan State star player Jeremy Fears Jr. You know, and when you're watching it, you see that he does flop a lot. You see that he does do a lot of grabbing, hooking, tripping kind of stuff. But when you watch it all together, it's like, holy smokes, the dude does do it a lot. And all I have to say is, why? There's no need for that. You are a fantastic player. Jeremy Fears Jr. is very talented, but I hope that Tom Izzo can coach some of that out of him, even though Izzo's kind of always encouraged a little bit of the toughness, dirty player stuff. But I also think that he'll talk to him and help him grow, because you see a lot of little chatter that goes a little too far, you know, like telling just walking by guys and telling them they're a B and things like that. But some of that stuff you could get somebody hurt, you know, and you're a good player. You don't need to do it. You can rock it out and score 30 points on a night where you started off kind of cold, and you can still get 30 points. I mean, you don't need to do that stuff. You don't need to be flopping and wasting possessions if you don't get a call, or risking getting a flagrant foul on you or something, which he did get one, for some of the moves that he makes, you know. And I don't know, just I've never liked the purposeful stuff. I mean, there's been Michigan players that have done it before. There's been professional sports. I mean, sometimes you love that dirty play. But I don't know, there's a line, and he crossed it quite a few times. So, and then of course, Izzo said Dusty can call him if he wants to talk about it. He'll talk about it. He's talked to Jeremy Fears, and it was just interesting. So I'll put a link down below to some of their press conference stuff, and also some of the clips of Jeremy Fears Jr. doing his thing. If you're interested, I don't want to dive too much into it because we got a lot to talk about, but I do find that interesting. I'm going to be keeping an eye on it, and it's just always fun in the rivalry. You can just look at some of the things that our fans say back and forth, and just get your popcorn and enjoy. But at the end of the day, Michigan won. It was a great week again, beating 2 top 10 teams, and we're moving on to this week, Thursday night against Penn State. So we are going to talk today. We're going to continue our coaching series. I did one on head coach Kyle Whittingham over the weekend. Check that out if you have not yet. And then I'm rotating between that and position group breakdowns. Yesterday I did the running back room. Check that out if you also have not yet. But today we're going to talk all about our new offensive coordinator, Jason Beck. Jason Beck was a former quarterback, playing quarterback for BYU for 3 seasons from 2004 to 2006. He transferred to the BYU Cougars after playing at the College of the Canyons in 2003 and Ventura College in 2002. He got a bachelor's degree from BYU in communications, and later on completed his master's degree in communications. He was the backup for that time in 2004 to 2006 to John Beck, his brother. Just kidding. They're not related at all. Isn't that funny when that works out that way? Same last name. John and Jason even sounds like names that parents would pick. No relation. But anyway, so his numbers were not gaudy or super impressive. For his career, he was 45 of 77, 58% completion percentage for 553 yards, 1 touchdown, 4 interceptions, and 28 yards rushing. He did have a game where he started against Utah State, and they won 38-0. That was his best game. He started his coaching career as an intern at BYU under Bronco Mendenhall in 2007, and he spent the 2008 season working as a graduate assistant for Les Miles at LSU. Then from 2009 to 2011, he was the quarterback coach at Weber State, an FCS school, which was also where defensive coordinator Jay Hill was head coach. During his time at Weber State, Cameron Higgins set school records for career passing yards, completions, and pass efficiency rating under Jason Beck's tutelage. He then spent the 2012 season as the offensive coordinator, his first offensive coordinator gig, at another FCS school, Simon Fraser University in British Columbia. He then got the job as a quarterback coach at his alma mater, BYU, from 2013 to 2015. He mentored both Taysom Hill and Tanner Mangum. Mangum was the nation's only freshman quarterback to throw for 3,000 plus yards and complete 60% of his passes. That's exciting to hear. Then he joined Virginia. He was the quarterback coach there for 6 seasons, 2016 to 2021. They had 3 quarterbacks throw for 20-plus touchdowns in consecutive seasons, with each of those campaigns coming during Beck's tenure. Bryce Perkins, who I love, living in Michigan, I was a big fan of, the USFL, Arena League, all that stuff. I just love football. But the Michigan Panthers, I loved watching there. Sadly, no more. Hopefully, the rumor is they're going to come back soon, but they kind of reworked things and they didn't make the cut. But anyway, he was the QB for them the last couple seasons, and they made it to the title game and lost, but he was a lot of fun to watch. So Bryce Perkins graduated as the program's career record holder in total offense, 7,910 yards. He led the ACC and was number 6 in NCAA in total offense, over 4,300 yards, in 2019, with his single-season passing yards setting a Virginia record at 3,538 yards. Now, Bryce Perkins is a lot like Bryce Underwood. He's a little smaller, but he's a lightning-quick runner, and he doesn't even have as strong of an arm as Bryce Underwood. And look at what Jason Beck was able to do with him with running and passing. So pretty exciting stuff. He's probably a faster runner, but Bryce Underwood is a better passer, so it'll be interesting to see how that works out. Beck also coached Brennan Armstrong and Kurt Benkert at Virginia, with Armstrong leading Virginia to a number 2 ranking in passing offense at the FBS level in 2021. Benkert passed for 5,759 yards and 46 touchdowns in 2 years at Virginia. So he did a really good job with Virginia players. Then Jason Beck spent 2 seasons at Syracuse as the quarterbacks coach, and then becoming the offensive coordinator in the second season. In 2023, when he was the offensive coordinator, there was a lot of injuries on the offense for Syracuse, but he still had a 1,000-yard rusher in LaQuint Allen. And they set a program record for total offense in the season opener of 677 yards and most rushing yards in a game since 1996, 392. With almost 400 yards rushing, that's awesome. That's insane. In 2022, when he was the QB coach, the program's pass efficiency rating improved from 108th the year before to 40th after his arrival. Syracuse finished 2022 ranked 2nd in the ACC in red zone offense, 4th in pass efficiency, 7th in passing offense. Those are fantastic numbers to see. We all know we hate when drives stall out, so seeing red zone efficiency being a thing that he's good at is awesome. Then, of course, he moved to New Mexico, where he was the offensive coordinator in 2024. The New Mexico Lobos offense finished in the top 5 nationally in 3 statistical categories. Number 5 in rushing offense at 253.6 yards per game, and ranked 4 in total offense, 484.3 per game, and first downs, 298 total first downs. That's insane. New Mexico led the Mountain West in total offense, red zone offense, and first downs. Beck was also the QB coach. That season, he helped Devin Dampier lead the Midwest Conference and ranked number 12 nationally in points responsible, 188, while ranking 2nd in the league in total passing yards, 2,768. Then, of course, last year he joined Kyle Whittingham at Utah as the offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach. Utah's offense ranked among the top statistical units in the entire NCAA. The Utah Utes were 2nd in FBS in rushing, 266.3 yards per game, 4th in total offense, 482.9 yards per game, 5th in both scoring, 41.2 points a game, and had the nation's lowest interception total at 5. That's pretty awesome. Nation's lowest. That's a guy that you want to come in and teach and help your young quarterback grow and also keep interceptions down. That's fantastic. Utah also ranked 3rd in the NCAA in third down conversion rate at 52.6%. I love that. And in first downs, 333. While having the 12th best red zone offense, the program had 5 players earn all Big 12 honors, including Offensive Lineman of the Year, Spencer Fano. Overall, the Utes were one of only 9 teams across the country to average over 200 yards on the ground and through the air all season. Let me say that again. One of 9 teams in the whole country to average over 200 yards rushing and 200 yards passing. That is fantastic. And of course, after the 2025 season, Jason Beck was hired as Kyle Whittingham's offensive coordinator for the University of Michigan Wolverines football team. Go Blue. So Jason Beck, you break that down, you can see how great he's been with some quarterbacks, especially a lot of them fit the mold of what we have with Bryce Underwood. Someone who's athletic and can run, but also has a big arm, who can pass for a lot of yards. And it's just amazing to see the balance. His rushing attacks were always good. They were always efficient. He kept turnovers down. Red zone offense was good. First downs were they were higher in the country. He's at a Mountain West team with New Mexico. He's been at schools that aren't like powerhouses like Syracuse, Virginia. And he did excellent with their quarterbacks, with their offense, continuously showing the same areas of strength with red zone, first down, efficiency, turnovers being down, being balanced on offense. Like, I'm beyond excited to see what he's going to do with this offense, with our running game, but finally bring Michigan's passing game back. I mean, let's be honest. I loved our team under Jim Harbaugh, and we had a lot of talent at quarterback at times, and we had a talented receiver here and there. But man, like our passing game, I feel like has not been. It's never really been back and been this weapon like it was back. You think all the way back to the Lloyd Carr days, almost. When he had players like Chad Henne throwing it up to Braylon Edwards. You had little moments here and there, but man, it's going to be great to see a passing game become a weapon again, and to see our running game continue to be strong. I just cannot wait to see what he does with these players and how we continue to build under him over the next couple seasons. And yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'll talk about it with Jay Hill too, but Jason Beck and Jay Hill, both very strong candidates to become a head coach somewhere. Brilliant minds. And hopefully one of them will be able to be the head coach here whenever Kyle Whittingham decides to finally ride off into the sunset. I don't think that'll be anytime soon, because he is a young 66 and he's on fire right now. But hopefully one of them will be able to stay and keep kind of this coaching staff and what they're building going. Because Jason Beck is a brilliant offensive mind, and he's very young still. And I'm just excited to see what he's going to do with this offense. And looking at those stats and what he's done, it's got to get you hyped. I mean, come on now. Go blue. Jason Beck, offensive coordinator. Whew, going to be fun. Michigan released some information about the spring game. It's going to be held on April 18th. No time has been given yet. Most likely it's going to be noon, like it always has, around there. Side note, I plan to be there. I'm going to make the trip. So I'll talk about it a lot more as we get closer. We got a couple months, obviously, but once it gets closer, I'll talk about it a lot, and I'll make sure that I'm going to record some content when I'm there. And also, I would love to meet any of you. If any of you are there, make sure to let me know in the comments and all that. And if you see me there, or we'll find each other, we'll figure it out. But I'm looking forward to meeting some Michigan fans there and doing some content at the spring game. It is going to be a blast, and I cannot wait. Michigan announced captains for the spring game and something new that they're doing that they didn't do under the old team. So the spring 2026 game captains for Michigan will be quarterback Bryce Underwood, running back Jordan Marshall, defensive tackle Trey Pierce, and safety Rod Moore. He also announced that they will have something called the Leadership Council. These captains were voted on by the players of Team 147. The captains and Leadership Council for the 2026 season will be elected during fall camp. But for the spring game, these are the ones who are voted to be the leaders for the spring game. Leadership Council is safety Rod Moore, cornerback Zeke Berry, defensive edge Cam Brandt, defensive tackle Trey Pierce, offensive lineman Blake Frazier, wide receiver Andrew Marsh, defensive tackle Eno Etta, quarterback Bryce Underwood, running back Jordan Marshall, tight end Zach Marshall, offensive lineman Jake Guanera, cornerback Jair Hill, safety Nico Andrighetto, safety/linebacker Mason Curtis, and offensive lineman Andrew Sprague. Who is Nico Andrighetto, you may ask? Well, he is a defensive back for Michigan, a safety. He's a senior from California. And he is a fantastic special teams player and scout team player. He's a three-time academic All-Big Ten honoree, and he's been the scout team special teams player of the year for Michigan 2 times in 2023 and 2024. So he's a scout team and special teams playing ace. So it's cool to see him get that honor. Another exciting but expected news, wide receiver Andrew Marsh put out his LFG graphic that he will be for sure returning to Michigan. It's always good to see this, even though we saw him at winter lifting and conditioning. We knew that he was a part of the team, but just to see it is awesome. So that was great when that came out yesterday. And now let's talk about some recruiting. So first of all, if you didn't watch my video yesterday, please go back and watch it, especially when I talk about defensive lineman Jeremiah Williams, a recruit that I'm very excited about, who's very high on Michigan, and I hope he comes. He's a fantastic defensive tackle, big, aggressive, quick. Think Kenneth Grant, with a great personality. We will love him if he comes to Michigan. 4-star, He'll be great on the defensive line. Check out his tape. But also, he plays fullback / running back for them, and he is electric. He is quick. He's got good vision. He hits holes, jukes. I love watching him run. I put a little clip of him running in there as well, so make sure you check that out. And I'm going to keep you updated on how his recruiting effort is going, because he's one that I would be very excited about. A couple updates on the Michigan players that are being recruited with the coolest names that I really want Michigan to get. First of all, Bodie Sparrow named his top 10, and Michigan is still in there, which is exciting. Bodie Sparrow is an athlete. He's played receiver, cornerback, safety. Just a very, very talented, dynamic player. I'm hoping that Michigan can land. They're still in the running, as he named his top 10. And also, linebacker Bronx Baker, who I absolutely love, is a stud. After his visit last week, I had mentioned in a former video that he had a great visit. Michigan offered him, and Michigan has vaulted to the top of his interest list. He's very excited about Michigan and to visit, and it's looking really good for Michigan to snag the very talented linebacker. Now there's another one with an awesome name to add to the list, and that is 4-star defensive back for the 2028 class, Man Robinson. Right now, he's the number 50 overall recruit for the 2028 class. Very talented, and another awesome name to add to the list of players for Michigan to watch to see how the recruiting goes. He's got a lot of interest, but it's awesome to see Michigan offered him. He's very talented, and he's got a cool name. Man Robinson on the tackle. Come on now. Man Robinson with the pick 6. Man, he's good. I'm just saying. Pretty awesome stuff. Another recruit that was had Michigan high on his list before Sharon Moore's exit was offensive lineman 4-star for the 2027 class, Jackson Roper from Colorado. Fantastic player. Another cool name, really. Roper. That's an awesome last name for an offensive lineman. But fantastic offensive lineman. Would be a great Michigan lineman. He was one that wasn't sure if he was going to stay interested, but he has some connections with Jim Harding and with the Utah staff, and he really loved what they were doing at Utah, so he's excited about them being at Michigan. And Jim Harding went to Colorado to visit him and made a great impact on him. And Roper felt like that was pretty awesome that he made that effort to come there and see him and made him his focus. So he's high on Michigan. He's going to do all his visits, all those things. But this coaching staff does a great job letting players know you are important and we want you here. So they did a good job once again. Roper is still in the mix, so keep an eye on that one as well. All right, now it's time to take a look around Michigan athletics and see what other teams are doing in Michigan sport. Michigan's men's lacrosse team opened the season in impressive fashion, defeating Mercyhurst 24-2. The 24 goals was a Michigan program record. Freshman Luke Shanahan had 5 goals and 2 assists for 7 points total. Nick Rode scored 4 goals on 4 shots, 100% success rate. Bo Lockwood recorded 6 points with 3 goals and 3 assists, while Alex LaBelle recorded 6 on 5 goals and 1 assist. Michigan heads to Milwaukee, Wisconsin next Saturday, February 7th, for a game against Marquette. All right, now it's time to talk about the question of the day results from yesterday. I do a question of the day every day for you Michigan fans. So if you have not voted on today's question of the day, be sure after this video to go do so. You can find the question of the day and any other posts I make under my community tab. Yesterday I asked how many rushing yards will Savion Hyder have in the upcoming season. The results are in, and here they are. As of right now, at recording this may change by tomorrow if you go back and check, but it is neck and neck, and just slightly by 1 percentage point, the winning vote was 500 to 1,000 yards rushing. Just behind it was 300 to 500 yards rushing, and that's kind of where I fall too. It's like it's kind of right on that line, right? If he starts the year as just as them working him in and not trying to put too much on his plate as a true freshman, and Bryson Koosdal gets a lot more of the second team backup reps when Jordan Marshall needs a breather, and Hyder just gets in here and there, then maybe it falls to that 300 to 500 yards as the year goes on, and he makes it very hard for them to keep him off the field, which I think he will. Or if they give him the backup job right away, if he wins it in practice and he flashes in the spring game, then and he hits the ground running as the backup right away, then he could easily get to that 500 to 1,000. But one of my subscribers, one of my commenters, Brian, appreciate you, Brian, you're the man. He had said, can you imagine if Bryce Underwood runs for over 500 yards and Savion Hyder and Jordan Marshall both got over 1,000? Can you imagine the insane stats that would be that offense? And if they had a dynamic passing attack as well? I mean, that's like pie in the sky thinking, that we all think that would be cool, but who knows? With this receiving core and the passing game being a focus too, probably won't happen, but that would be pretty wild if it did. But even if Jordan Marshall hits 1,000 and Savion Hyder hits 500 and Bryce Underwood gets in that 300 to 500 range, that would be incredible. And I think that's very realistic. So anyway, just talking about Jason Beck, looking at Savion Hyder, what he might do, gets me so pumped for this offense. Is it September yet? Really excited, guys. Cannot wait. Thanks for voting. I appreciate it. Make sure, again, that you vote in today's question of the day. That's going to do it for today's episode of the Maize and Bluebeard podcast. Thank you for hanging out with me. I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to talk Michigan sports with me. Hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to leave me a comment down below. I respond to everyone, and I can't wait to talk to you down there. But that's all I got, so enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. I'll see you in the next video, and until I do, as always, go blue.